And now, Mike's thoughts.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, I am honestly scratching my head right now. I am confused, and I'm just utterly just like, why? Why on earth are the Pittsburgh Steelers still entertaining the idea of Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback in 2025? Like, what is going on in the Pittsburgh Steelers front office at this particular point? Look, I get it. Aaron Rodgers is a four-time MVP. He is out there playing this offseason chess game like it's a puzzle, only he is solving at the end of the day. He recently did a fan Q&A and dropped this cryptic line about might be playing in Chicago this year on a road trip, which feels like a subtle troll aimed at the Chicago Bears, his lifelong time division rival. And yes, the Steelers are scheduled to play the Chicago Bears in Week 12. Coincidence? Maybe, but it's keeping the Aaron Rodgers watch alive. What really gets me is that Aaron Rodgers is really clearly open to anything and attached to nothing, according to his own words. Yet, the Steelers brass, including Art Rooney II himself, keeps saying, all signs are positive. Rodgers is heading to Pittsburgh. Coach Mike Tomlin is playing it cool with no signing deadline, and Alex Highsmith says it's not a distraction at all. But at what point do we stop reading tea leaves and start talking contracts? Waiting on Aaron Rodgers' decision feels like it's dragging the Pittsburgh Steelers offseason in slow motion. And there's even a bigger problem beyond that. This whole Aaron Rodgers saga isn't just a weird distraction for fans and the media. It's actively holding back the Pittsburgh Steelers' own quarterback situation in Will Howard and Mason Rudolph. Now, Howard wants to be that gritty guy. He's ready to grow. He's ready to lead. And how can he truly develop when the front office is sending mixed signals? Playing these mind games with the roster and leaving the starting quarterback job in limbo is not fair to the guys who are already in the building grinding every day. It creates a cloud of uncertainty that trickles through the locker room and stunts the growth of young talent. Look, Aaron Rodgers hinting at a Pittsburgh doesn't win games. Only Rodgers actually signing a contract will do so. Meanwhile, Will Howard and the rest of the quarterbacks and rest of the Pittsburgh Steelers are stuck in this weird holding pattern, right? Waiting and wondering what the future holds. Is it really how you build a championship contender? Betting on your future on a 41-year-old quarterback who can't decide if he wants to come or play or not? It's mind-boggling at the end of the day. So that's exactly why we're here tonight, to break it down. What does it all mean for the Pittsburgh Steelers, for Will Howard's development, and the teams that clearly that a team that needs clarity, and if it wants to get back to his winning ways? Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
Yeah, hey, let's go. Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe, only the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight raw, steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off, get it hype. This man, our sport talk. Yeah, from the quarterback to the lineman, everybody bringing heat. You don't really wanna try them. Hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest, nobody can deny it. This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception?
Let's go. What is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckasher here with the Man Hour guys, and welcome to Man Hour NFL Talk, your go-to spot for live, raw, uncut NFL talk. Guys, I'm so glad you're with us here on this Sunday evening. We're doing an extra show just for you guys tonight to talk the NFC East. But before we dive into today's action, guys, let me tell you a little bit about manhourradio.com. That is where you can grab all your exclusive merch, check out our latest blogs, and stay up to date on everything what we are doing. If you are repping the Man Hour, that is the place to do it, manhourradio.com. But hey, Do not forget to hit the like button and share with a couple friends at the end of the day, because sharing is caring at the end of the day. And if you be most inclined as well, subscribe to the channel as well. That's the best way to stay connected with us and make sure you never miss a live, raw, uncut NFL show. But wait, there is even more. You can become a Pigskin Pundit. That's our members-only community where you get free entry into all of our weekly NFL pick'ems, giveaways, and of course, you get exclusive merch. You get access to extra live streams that only the Pigskin Pundits get. So if you want the full man-hour experience, guys, sign up and join the squad today. And remember, guys, this is a live, interactive show, so comment down below. We want to hear from you. John, we want to hear your thoughts, Old Man River, and we want to hear your opinions, Mr. Tommy. So, guys, what are your hot takes? And we're all about the conversation right here at Man Hour and NFLtalk.com. So, guys, before we get too great away, let's welcome some people in the show. Let's welcome to Old Man River in the chat. What's up, Old Man River? Hope you're having a good day. And I just realized that I did not put the new overlays down there on the shorts. So, guys, be sure to click on the full live stream over here at YouTube.com if you are on the shorts form there. We got my man John. John's a Pigskin Pundit.
Pigskin Pundit. Get yourself.
John says, what's up, y'all? John was with us on his members-only Pigskin Pundit stream this afternoon. We built the old overlay together. So if you guys want to be like John and Old Man River and become Pigskin Pundits and get some input of what we're doing here on screen, definitely feel free to do that. Let's get that monitor down there. A little monitor's in the way. There you go. Get that out here. And then we got Alpha Rob in the chat. Says, what's up, Buck, on a Sunday night? Yes, sir, Alpha Rob. We are here on a Sunday night because we missed last Tuesday. Spent the time with the old familette. And then tonight we want to stay on track. So we're breaking down the NFC East tonight. Tomorrow on Monday, we got AFC West. And then Wednesday and Thursdays, we do the North. And then Friday, we do our way too early playoff predictions, way too early Super Bowl predictions, and way too early making Minnesota Vikings fans very, very upset. So what's up, guys? Hope you guys are having a good weekend and have a great Memorial weekend tomorrow, or Memorial Day tomorrow. I know we're not supposed to say Happy Memorial Day, but definitely go out there and celebrate the loved ones that we have lost, whether they served or not. It is all about memory. It's all about remembrance of great times. But speaking of great times, the Dallas Cowboys, guys. The time for excuses for the Dallas Cowboys is officially over. As a new era begins in Dallas, Brian Schottenheimer is in, and the roster is loaded, baby, and expectations are sky high. But the question is simple. Will this finally be the year the Dallas Cowboys break through, or are we staring down the barrel of yet another 11-win season disappointment? Guys, let's break down the entire 2020-2025 NFL season for the Dallas Cowboys way too early win-loss predictions. So, guys, weeks 1 through 4, I think the Dallas Cowboys come out swinging. I think they come out swinging. They pop some people in the mouth early, and they do it often. And they do it week 1, September 4th, Brian Schottenheimer's Dallas Cowboys debut. Guys, it is a statement. George Pickens goes off. CeeDee Lamb goes off. Dak Prescott might throw for 450-plus yards. Dallas Cowboys go into a hostile Philadelphia and stun the Eagles. It is a physical NFC East slugfest, and Parsons sets the tone. That offense does just enough to steal the deal, and it is a hands-down win for the Dallas Cowboys opening week. Guys, I told you guys this a couple weeks ago when the schedule first came out, that the Philadelphia Eagles did not want to play the Dallas Cowboys come week 1 because the Cowboys were going to wax that ass, and that's exactly what they do. Then you come down to week 2, the home opener for the Dallas Cowboys. The New York Giants are coming down to town, and this is yet another win. The home opener delivers fireworks, right? CeeDee Lamb finds the end zone twice, and the defense forces Russell Wilson into multiple mistakes, multiple turnovers. We might even see Jameis Winston in this game at this particular point. The Cowboys start 2-0 with back-to-back divisional wins. The sky is the limit. Everybody's looking positive. But then week 3 comes. They travel to Chicago, and they play the Chicago Bears. They play the Chicago Bears, and they get the first loss of the season. Chicago's defense steps up big time, and Caleb Williams outshines Dak Prescott in this one. The Cowboys fall flat in the second half, and a wake-up call early in the season that the Cowboys are not good enough to take the foot off the gas in the second half. Wake up, baby. You have to play a full 60 minutes each and every week. And then that's what they exactly do week 4. When they're back at home, it's payback time, and the Green Bay Packers come into town, and they wax that ass, baby. Now, after the recent playoff heartbreak a couple years ago, and then yet another loss last season, right? The Dallas Cowboys don't mess around. Jordan Love gets rattled, and the Cowboys front seven, and the home crowd erupts as the Dallas Cowboys move to 3-1 on the season. So, guys, to recap the first quarter of the season, 3-1 start for the Dallas Cowboys. Brian Schottenheimer and has the fans believing. The Cowboys own the NFC East early, and everybody's talking about a Super Bowl for the Dallas Cowboys after the 4 weeks of the season. And then weeks 5 through 9, they still build the process. They're still building that foundation, and they grind through the next few weeks. However, week 5 is tough. Week 5 is tough because they do travel to New York to take on the New York Football Jets and Justin Fields. Now, Justin Fields is under center now, and it's his legs, not his arms, that causes more problems for the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys defense struggles to contain his mobility, and the Jets run right at Micah Parsons over and over and over again. And I think the Jets pull the upset, air quotes, their upset win there, giving the Dallas Cowboys their second loss of the season. Then heading into week 6, they're back on the road to Carolina to take on the Panthers. Guys, Bryce Young still doesn't have what it needs to win these games. The Dallas Cowboys go into Carolina and they dominate in the trenches and forces multiple turnovers. A get-right game on the road, exactly what they needed. Because as they come back home week number 7, they welcome a great team to town, and that is the Washington Commanders. Dan Quinn comes back to AT&T Stadium. It's not his house anymore, but Micah Parsons sacks Jaden Daniels twice, and the offense protects the ball. Brian Schottenheimer improves to 3-0 in the division with the win over the Washington Commanders. And then week number 8, they travel to Denver and win yet another tough road game. Sean Payton has the Denver Broncos back on track, but the Dallas Cowboys just too much on both sides of the ball. The Cowboys grind out a low-scoring win at Mile High Stadium. Now, heading into week 9, they are playing another really, really good team in the Arizona Cardinals, but this time at home. But this is a total mismatch. The Arizona Cardinals get overwhelmed by the Dallas Cowboys' speed and depth. Expect this one to be over by halftime, right? It is what it is. The Dallas Cowboys are going to wax the Arizona Cardinals' butts at the end of the day. So the Dallas Cowboys are rolling into the bye week. Week 10's a bye week at 7-2. Brian Schottenheimer's team is cooking, and the defense looks championship caliber. But this is where the season starts to tumble apart. This is where they go into the fire, and they do not come out the other side very peachy clean. So fresh out of the bye week, they travel to Las Vegas to take on the Las Vegas Raiders. Sloppy out of the bye, Vegas brings the heat, and the Dallas Cowboys cannot adjust. Penalties and turnovers leads to a frustrating road loss. It is just a tough game to watch in the particular game. It might be a 12-6 game at the end of the game. And then week number 12, the Philadelphia Eagles come into Arlington, Texas, but the Philadelphia Eagles flip the script from week 1. Hurts makes key plays late, and the Eagles even the series, and the division race starts to tighten up. And then week 13, it does not get any easier. Now the Cowboys are at home, but they do welcome the best team in the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs, into town. Mahomes in November, December, January, it doesn't matter. He is a different beast. The Dallas tries to keep it close, but a late drive from the Chiefs steals yet another loss for the Dallas Cowboys moving forward. So the Dallas Cowboys do drop 3 straight games to fall to 7-5 on the season. A playoff spots are still within reach, but the pressure is mounting. They need to finish strong, and that's exactly what they do. I think weeks 14 through 18, the final push, as I want to call it, the Dallas Cowboys do finish strong. And they finish strong right off the bat, week 14, as they go into Detroit and they beat the Lions. A huge playoff implications here, and the Dallas Cowboys deliver. The defense swarms Jared Goff, and whoever the running back is for the Dallas Cowboys at this particular point, they control the clock and keep that Detroit Lions offense off of the field very, very shortly. And then week 15, they're back at home taking on the Minnesota Vikings, and J.J. McCarthy gets a rough welcome to AT&T Stadium. The Cowboys dominate the time of possession and pull away in the second half. Note here that I'm really relying on the running game. I think they start to control the clock a lot this last part of the season. Then week number 16, they welcome the Chargers into town. It is yet another win. Now, week 17, they do travel to Washington, D.C., and Dan Quinn does get his revenge. The Washington defense plays inspired with a few crucial mistakes, dooms the Dallas Cowboys late, giving them that loss. And then they do finish out strong at New York, beating the New York Football Giants, which they finished 11-6 on the season. Brian Schottenheimer's first year ends with momentum and a record of 4-2 in the NFC East, right? So, guys, here is the tally. 11-6 record, 4-2 in the division. Playoffs, very, very likely. But can Brian Schottenheimer win in January? That's been the biggest Dallas Cowboys downfall of them all. So, guys, is 11-6 a successful season for Brian Schottenheimer in year one? Or will Cowboys Nation demand more? Guys, this is a live interactive show, so comment down below. Remember to hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. And we are live every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. So, John is saying the Dallas Cowboys will go 10-7. John, we're not too far apart. We are not too far apart. I got 11-6. You got 10-7. I believe you said something about the Bears game earlier. So I don't know. Old Man River is not having any optimism in Dallas at all. 7-10, he says. 7-10. He says, Buck, the Cowboys are just not very good. Bro. John says the loss to Chicago is crazy. Listen, I said this last year. So in 2024, there were several teams that were pretty good. They had a potential to be a playoff-bound team. One of them being the Chicago Bears, the other one being the Las Vegas Raiders, the other one being the New York Football Giants, right? They all had pretty good shots of making the playoffs, but their schedules were tough, right? They had tough schedules. The Bears had one of the hardest schedules in the NFL. The Raiders, it seemed like every time they would get a little bit of momentum, boom, they play the Chiefs. Boom, they play the Chargers. Boom, they play whoever else would they had a lot of tough games. Same thing with the New York Giants. They can never really catch a break. However, the Chicago Bears have done well, especially at home. I think the first 3 or 4 weeks of the Chicago Bears, the buzz around Ben Johnson and that offense is going to be really, really hot. And they are going to be playing well the first couple weeks of the season. Now, when we break down the NFC North will be Tuesday, right? Tuesday, we will break down the NFC North. I just want to tell you that the Chicago Bears are not going to finish strong, but they will 100% start strong. And that's why I think they do ultimately lose to the Chicago Bears in Chicago. Because if I'm not mistaken, that is the Chicago Bears home opener as well. Brandon's in the chat. Hall, man, says the Commanders are going 8-9 and missing the playoffs. Brandon, stay tuned because we're talking about the Commanders next, buddy. We are talking about your Commanders next. And RG4 has a slump. I think he means JD4, right? JD4. John says beating Chicago and lose to Detroit and the line in line of the Giants game. So that's where John and I differ. So he thinks the Giants will beat the Cowboys. The Lions will beat the Cowboys. And the Bears will lose to the Cowboys. But other than that, we are right on the same page here. And Alpha Rob, great minds think alike, Alpha Rob. Great lines think alike. 11-6. But he also says, I'm not buying the Bears. Listen, I'm not buying the Bears either. Let's just be perfectly clear. I'm not buying the Bears either. And you know what? Since you are an everydayer, Alpha Rob, since you are an everydayer, John, an Old Man River, I will give you guys a little bit of food for thought here on what I have for the Chicago Bears if it pulls up. It's not pulling up, imagine that. Let me go down here and copy the link again. So I do the V2 playoff predictor, and it's always not the greatest of saving things, so sometimes you got to save the link so it saves your things. I had the Chicago Bears as a sub 500 team. I just put it out there. I have them as a sub 500 team. They are a decent team. They've shown improvements. They had a great off season, but yeah, you can never buy the Chicago Bears. You guys know my opinions about the Chicago Bears. You can get all the hype you want in May. Do not buy them. You can get all the hype you want in June, July, August, September, right? You can have all of that, but it's still the Chicago Bears. Slow it down, baby, right? Slow it down. Old Member says Dak will be throwing interceptions and Lamb and Pickens pursuit fight at the 50. Listen, the Dallas Cowboys are either going to be really fun to watch or really fun to watch, right? Either way, Dallas Cowboys are going to be must talked about TV every time we get on this show. Whether it is CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens fighting at the 50, whether it's Dak Prescott throwing for 50 yards or 400 yards, right? We are going to be talking about the Dallas Cowboys a lot this season because there's so much dynamic on either side of the coin, right? Because later in the show, people love to hate the Dallas Cowboys. People love to hate the Dallas Cowboys. Matter of fact, if you show me an Eagles fan, just an average Eagles fan, I bet you they hate the Dallas Cowboys more than they like their team. That's just the way it is, right? That's just the way it is. John says the Bears will finish with yet another 6 or 7 season. We'll talk about them on Tuesday, man. We'll definitely talk about them Tuesday. RPG Production says, are you buying the Patriots? Tune in tomorrow, RPG Productions, because we will break down the AFC East tomorrow. But I can tell you, they are below a 500 team as well. So don't shoot the messenger. Brad D says the Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? I have them as 11-6. 11-6. Definitely a great record to be poised to make a playoff push, right? Alpha Rob says, I think the Pats come in second place with a 9-8. Tune in tomorrow, guys. Tune in tomorrow. Robert Stolman says, not the Cowboys. Yes, Cowboys are America's team. We will always be talking about the Dallas Cowboys. Win, lose, or draw, Cowboys are always headline news. But right now, way too early predictions. I have them at as 11-6. John says Dallas definitely going to be better this season. Listen, me personally, I think they will be better, right? But they are a ticking time bomb, right? With the whole Micah Parsons podcast thing and other factors outside of the actual organization, like George Pickens' maturity, Dak Prescott really pushing to be that top 5 quarterback, but people are always hating on him. If somebody would drop a firecracker in the middle of the field, we would literally watch the Dallas Cowboys implode like an atomic bomb went off. But they could be really, really good or really, really bad. There is, I don't think there'll be any mediocre point for the Dallas Cowboys this season. They will not be a 7, 8, 9 win team. They will be 11 plus or 4 and under, right? There is no mediocre point for the Dallas Cowboys. But the Patriots right now, no one can tell me otherwise. Tune in tomorrow. Old Man River says the Commanders will be 11-6. We'll see, Commanders. Or we'll see, Old Man River. RPG Breakfast says, what time tomorrow? We are live Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time, brother. 9 p.m. East Coast time. Oh, I forgot to jump on the comments. But speaking of those Washington Commanders, let's go ahead and talk about those Washington Commanders. Let's talk about the shock of the world of 2025. The Commanders, guys, are no longer the NFL's afterthought. This team, led by defensive-minded head coach Dan Quinn, is in his second year as a head coach and is ready to shake up the NFC East and put the league on high alert. A new identity, a new culture, same fire. The question is, how far can they go in 2025? Guys, let's break down the entire 2025 season way too early as I give you the way too early win-loss prediction records. So strap in, Commanders Nation, raise hell, because it is going to be a wild ride. And right off the bat, guys, week number 1, they do start off strong. They're at home taking on the New York Football Giants as the Dan Quinn era enters in his second season. And guys, the Washington's reamped defense smothers the Giants, setting the tone for what is coming in for the long season. They're going to have very, very high hopes this season. But week 2, they travel to Green Bay, one of the best teams in the NFC. Early trip to Lambeau, not ideal. Jordan Love hits some big plays late, and the Commanders drop a close one, dropping them to 1-1 on the season. Now they are back at home versus the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Commanders take care of business. Jaden Daniels underneath center is going to manage that game very, very well while that defense harasses the Vegas offense because the Vegas offense is terrible. I don't care if it's Aiden O'Connell. I don't care if it's Geno Smith. I don't care if you sign Tom Brady. The Raiders are not going to be very good on the offensive side of the ball. And then come in week number 4, they travel to Atlanta as Dan Quinn returns to the Atlanta Falcons. He dials up the heat and confuses second-year quarterback Michael Pittman Jr., and the Commanders leave Georgia with yet another W. So, starting off the season 3-1, this team is ahead of schedule. This defense is top 10 material, and the offense is clean, efficient, and playing with purpose. Washington fans got a great feeling right now. They got a great feeling right now because it is time to get tested and gain more momentum as they head into week number 5 when they travel to LA to take on the Chargers. A tough road trip, but this team doesn't blink. The defense pressures the Justin Herbert all day long, and yet the Washington picks up another statement win in LA. Then back at home, week number 6, the Chicago Bears are back coming into Washington, D.C. for yet another year. You guys remember the Hail Mary from last season? The Hail Mary that basically catapulted the Commanders to up here and the Bears down here? We have a rematch, right? Now, we all understand that Caleb Williams versus Jaden Daniels is a must-see TV, right? Whoever the starting quarterback is at this particular point, it may not even be Caleb Williams. Let's just be honest. But the Commanders come out there and whoop the ass. They keep rolling. But then week number 7, they do travel to Arlington, Texas to take on the Dallas Cowboys with their first true test of the season. Brian Schottenheimer's new look Dallas offense takes big steps here, and the Commanders lose a hard-fight battle in Arlington, giving them their second loss of the season. And then week number 8, they're back on the road, this time to Arrowhead Stadium on Monday Night Football. Patrick Mahomes under the lights. Even with the much improved squad, guys, the Washington Commanders just cannot hang with the Kansas City Chiefs at home as they fall to 5-3. But then week number 9, they're back at home taking on the Seahawks. Sam Darnold and the Seahawks are frisky here, but Washington gets back to their identity and dominate the line of scrimmage, and they control the game, and Jaden Daniels goes off. We are talking about Jaden Daniels as the MVP after this game. So at the mid-season point here, guys, they are 6-3 record with tough losses to 2 Super Bowl caliber teams. But overall, the Commanders are exceeding expectations. Playoff conversations are becoming real yet again. But this is where the Commanders start to find their ceiling. This is when we realize that the Commanders are really not ready to break through to an elite NFC level team here, because week number 10, the Detroit Lions come into town and they embarrass the Commanders. Detroit comes in and plays bully ball. This feels kind of like a measuring stick that the Washington Commanders needed, and they realize that we are not an elite team yet. We have a lot of work to do. But then week number 11, they do travel to Miami, and they do damage to the Miami Dolphins. Of course, the Miami Dolphins are not very good, but they do take a huge win on the road in Miami. Heading into a week 12 bye week, and their week 13, they're back at home to take on the Denver Broncos. Now, the Broncos are back on track underneath Sean Payton, like we said, when they played the Dallas Cowboys. But the Washington holds it severe at home. They hold serve at home and dominate late in the fourth. So, moving into week 14, right now they're sitting at 8-4. With the bye week coming at the perfect time in week 12, the Washington enters in December and healthy and dialed in and ready for a full playoff push. And that's exactly what they do. Week 14, they travel to Minnesota and they beat down J.J. McCarthy and the Minnesota Vikings. Whether it's a retooled or a veteran under center, it doesn't matter, a.k.a. Aaron Rodgers. The Washington defense travels and they deliver, and they shut down the Minnesota Vikings early and often in that week 14 game. But then week 15, they travel to New York. This is a trap game, a divisional game on the road, and the Giants want to play spoiler here. Hell, the Giants are actually competing for a playoff spot in this particular game, and the Washington slip up at the wrong time and they lose to the New York Giants. And then week number 16, they're back at home. Payback time is happening as they beat the Philadelphia Eagles at home. And then the Dallas Cowboys come to town as well, and they beat the Dallas Cowboys. And then a quote back-to-back games, which you play the same team twice in 3 weeks. This time they travel to Philly And depending on seeding and health, this could be a rest or starter type of situation. Either way, I think the Eagles take this one, which gives the Commanders 11-6 record. 3-3 in the NFC East, guys. Washington is officially back after this season, right? This team wins in the trenches, wins on defense, and wins late in the year. They split with both the Eagles and the Cowboys, both really, really good teams. They're dominant at home and are built to make noise in January. Guys, is this finally where the Washington Commanders break through and win the NFC East? Are they finally back on top? Can they finally make it to the NFC Championship game yet again? So, guys, be sure to hit the subscribe button, and we're live every Monday right at 9 p.m. East Coast time. But, guys, what are your thoughts? Are the Commanders back, and are they here to stay on top? That is my question. And John says, no, they're not. John says, no, they are 8-9.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
John says, Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels, it doesn't matter. Commanders in 5, right? No, I don't know. I'm trying to do my best impression of old Shannon Sharp there. But yeah, 8-9. That is tough. That's tough. Daniel Barry Sports Highlights in the chat. What's up, Daniel? Hope you have a good day, man. Alpha Rob says this year Washington sneaks up on no one. 10-7 because the Cowboys are healthy. So you're predicting that the Cowboys sweep the Commanders. Is that what I'm getting, Alpha Rob? Is that the vibe that I'm picking up that you're putting down? Okay. 10-7, he says. 10-7. The Giants are sneakily good this year, John. You are 100% correct. And as we get to the Giants, we'll be definitely talking about how underrated I think they are. But let's go ahead and move on to the Philadelphia Eagles. Hang on. Seahawks, Broncos both dropped games in Dallas to your predictions. I agree. I concur. Trap games, right? Trap games. Now, guys, the Philadelphia Eagles just weren't flying in 2024. They soared all the way to the Super Bowl championship, baby! And after a rocky start to an epic finish, this team answered every question and silenced all the doubters in 2024. Jalen Hurts, the offensive weapons, and the defense, and head coach Nick Sirianni all came together to deliver a Phillies long-awaited a title, right? They're back on top. But is 2025 a repeat, or are they just a little overhyped? Let's break down the way too early win-loss prediction for the 2025 Philadelphia Eagles. And guys, they get tested right off the bat. The first 4 weeks of the NFL season, the NFL schedule maker said, you know what? We're going to make the Philadelphia Eagles a 2-2 team. We are going to make the Philadelphia Eagles potentially a losing team going into week 5. We do not want any 11-0 fall off like they did the last time they won the Super Bowl. We want to see them lose early, and that's exactly what they did. Week 1, they're opening the NFL season September 4th versus the Dallas Cowboys, right? And this is a tough season opener. This is a rough one because the Dallas Cowboys do come to town and they beat the Philadelphia Eagles. A tough loss for the new look Dallas Cowboys on their home turf. It is a tough loss. And then week number 2, they travel to Arrowhead Stadium. Yet a Super Bowl rematch week 2. So you play a Super Bowl team and the Dallas Cowboys, then you play the Chiefs, and then you play the Rams and the Broncos. The schedule makers did not like the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's just be flat out honest. But the Eagles do go into Kansas City, and they get a bounce-back win, a huge win over the Kansas City Chiefs. Beating Mahomes on the road is a statement game, a statement win for the Philadelphia Eagles moving forward. And then week number 3, they're back at home taking on the LA Rams, a team that they just played less than 6 months ago, right? The Eagles defense dominates the LA Rams. Matthew Stafford, Devontae Adams, Puka, it doesn't matter. The Rams are getting licked in Philly. Let's just be honest. But then week number 4, they travel to Tampa. I said this last year, and I'll keep on saying it until they prove me otherwise. The Philadelphia Eagles do not want to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And week number 4 proves that the Philadelphia Eagles do not want to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Some people might call this a trap game, but whatever it is, Philly struggles to find rhythm in Tampa, and they lose the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going into week 4. So, starting off the season, heading into week 5, guys, they are 2-2. Early inconsistency, but flashes of greatness. The stage is being set. The stage is being set for a very, very complete rest of the season. And that's exactly what they do. They start winning a lot of games. Week number 5, the defense clamps down and offense explodes for a solid win over the Denver Broncos. Then week number 6, they're on the road taking on the New York Football Giants, road dominance over the Giants. This gives Philly a confidence boost to make a nice long playoff run and potentially not lose a game for the rest of the season. But I spoke too soon, right? A tough loss on a short week to the Minnesota Vikings, but valuable lessons learned. They travel to Minnesota and they lose a Thursday night game. And then week 8, they're back at home. They play back-to-back games. The Giants twice in 3 weeks, which is stupid, but hey, we digress here, right? They complete the sweep of the divisional rival, the New York Football Giants, as Philly shows growth and shows back on track heading into the bye week 5-3. Now, guys, the Eagles were a team to watch. They are putting together key wins, and despite a couple of setbacks to the Cowboys and the Vikings, they have learned a lot of lessons, and they're going to use those lessons moving forward. And this is where they get their turning point. This is where the Eagles start to click yet again. After a bye week, they travel to Green Bay, and they beat down the Packers. Tough crowd, potentially cold weather. It doesn't really matter. Guys, the Phillies pull out a gritty win, and they're grittying all the way into the end zone many, many times in this game. And then week number 11, they're back at home, take on the Detroit Lions. Playoff implications start to feel real as the Eagles handle the Detroit Lions. They actually beat down the Detroit Lions. Then week number 12, they travel to Dallas, and they get revenge at Jerry World. It is a statement win that sent a message to the rest of the NFL that the Philadelphias are here to stay. Now, week 13, they're back at home, taking on the Chicago Bears. They continue to roll over the Bears, and they're a team on a mission. They are 9-3 at this point. This stretch was the catalyst, right? The Eagles clicked on all cylinders and became a legitimate Super Bowl contender yet again. And this is where they make their championship run. Week 14, they travel to LA to take on the Chargers. No signs of slowing down. They roll over the Chargers. Week 15, they're back at home to take on the Raiders. Yet another win. The engine keeps on rolling. They keep on rolling, and they are hot. Week 16, they stumble a little bit versus the Commanders, and they lose the Commanders at Washington, D.C., but they stay focused, and they recalibrate, and they go into week 17, and they go into Buffalo, New York, and they beat down the Buffalo Bills. Now, I think the reason why they beat down the Buffalo Bills is because the Buffalo Bills would potentially be resting the starters at this particular point, but the Philadelphia Eagles look to take advantage and secure a vital win going into week 17. And then week 18, they're back at home, taking on the Washington Commanders, and they get the revenge win, the final regular season game with the win that locked up home field advantage for the playoffs. That's right, the number 1 overall seed for the Philadelphia Eagles, 13-4. And then the Eagles went on a tear, and the playoffs winning the NFC Championship. Slow it down, Buck. Slow it down, right? Slow it down. But guys, do you guys think that the 2025 Eagles will kick off a new era in dominance of the NFC East, or are they crashing back down to reality? Guys, let me know in the comments. I have them going 13-4. What do you guys got? Old Man River says 12-5. 12-5. Not too far off. You might have a little hiccup here, maybe versus the Raiders versus the Chargers, right? There's hiccups that might happen, but 12-5 is very, very respectable. And then John says the Eagles too hyped, going to be a different year. 9-8. Listen, John, I think the Eagles have learned from their mistakes, because the last time they won the Super Bowl, they went 11-0. Now, we all sat here and said the Eagles are a flawed team. They're this, and this, and then they end up losing 5 out of their last 6 and getting beat by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the wild card game, right? Now, all this undefeated season stuff is going to be squashed week 1 when the Dallas Cowboys go into Philly and beat that ass, right? They're tough. They got a tough first 4 weeks versus the Dallas Cowboys, at Kansas City Chiefs, versus the Rams, a Super Bowl caliber Rams team that I have going 13-4 as well, and then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Right? They got a tough schedule first 4 weeks of the season, so definitely like it. Brandon says the Commanders are going to go 8-9 and miss the playoffs. The Commanders are next. Actually, we already talked about the Commanders. I had them going 11-6. 11-6. Alpha Rob says 12-5 because Barkley not going to have another monster year is why. I mean, 12-5 is still pretty respectable. 12-5 is still probably a number 2 seed in the NFC. As I do think Saquon Barkley will come back down. We will see a nice little 1-2 punch going on in the NFL, right? Or in the Philly, as I should say. But yeah, he will definitely not have a monster year. And John wants to waffle around, guys.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
John, you are a pigskin punny, and you know we don't waffle around here. But you know what? I'll give you your 10-7. He said 9-8, 10-7. I mean, honestly, 10-7 sounds like a pretty good season. 9-8 sounds like an average season. So that one win could definitely. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, man, River says tush push for the win. You know my feelings about the tush push. Get that out of here. John says injury set year for them defense. Not enough depth through the year. Barkley goes down early. Ugh. Wishing that ill will. Oh, jeez, man. Barkley goes down early. That's tough. Injury set. Jeez, man. You can't be wishing injury on anybody, John. But he is over 30 years old. 31, right? It's going to be, as they say, running backs over the age of about 29. Derrick Henry is an outlier. Do not base stuff off of Derrick Henry. I want to be perfectly clear. Do not base your facts about running backs off of Derrick Henry. He is an outlier. Running backs historically over the age of 29 into 30 go. Just saying. It's just the Madden curse. Right. The Madden curse is a real thing. Look at CMC from last season, right? Madden curse is a real thing. But let's talk about the New York Football Giants. As the Giants are ending the 2025 season with a fresh face under center with Russell Wilson, it's a new era in the Big Apple, and the road won't be easy. The season is full of rebuilding chemistry, facing a brutal schedule, and seeing if Russell Wilson can actually lead the Giants back to relevance. Guys, I'm breaking down the way too early win-loss predictions with 4 checkpoints to recap the highs, lows, and key moments on the way to find out the final record. And it does not start easy for the New York Football Giants. Now, let me preface this, guys, because I think the Giants will be a lot better team. Their record will not reflect of how good they are. I want to put that out there right off the bat. I love their defense. I think they're going to have a top 10 defense. I think their offense is going to be much improved. They're just going to be held back by Jameis Winston, Russell Wilson, or whoever else they decide to start at the quarterback. That is not the rookie. I just want to put that out there. So week number 1, they do travel to Washington, and it is a tough divisional opener on the road with Russell Wilson on a new team. Everybody's on edge. The Commanders edge out this one, and it is what it is. Then week number 2, they are back on the road yet again, playing the Dallas Cowboys. With the Dallas Cowboys' new head coach, Brian Schottenheimer, and a loaded roster to prove too much for the Giants early on, starting off the season 0-2. And then another brutal game. This time, they're at home, though, and they play the Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs to MetLife Stadium. The Giants had yet their 3rd straight loss. Now, even though they're starting 0-3, they are playing well in these games. They are playing some of the top teams in the NFL. A playoff-bound team in the Washington Commanders, a playoff-bound team in the Dallas Cowboys, and a playoff team versus the Kansas City Chiefs. And it doesn't get any easier when they welcome the LA Chargers into town, yet another playoff team, but finally some good news. Russell Wilson shows some flashes of magic, and the Giants grabbed their first win off the backs of their defense. I just want to be perfectly honest. The defense is going to be great and going to win a lot of games for the Giants this season. They get the first win of the season versus LA, giving them a 1-3 start. It is a brutal start, but the Giants have shown some promise, right? Especially with Russell Wilson starting to get settled in. Now, it gets even harder. The fight through the NFC, right? Now, they do play the New Orleans Saints at New Orleans. As I do think the Saints will be a bad team, but they also always play well at home. A big road win in the Dome, and the Giants are proving that they can battle through tough environments. But then they travel to Philadelphia. Yet another road game. They have 2 home games in the first 8 weeks. That is tough. Is that right? Good Lord. But the Philadelphia's defense is a tough one to hurdle. And they lose to the Eagles. Let's just be honest. But then week number 7, they travel to Denver to take on the Denver Broncos, and they get a gritty road win over the Russell Wilson's former team. Russell Wilson is starting to step up, and the Giants are finally starting to click. But week number 8, they travel to Philly to lose to the Eagles, and the Eagles win yet again, sweeping the division, right? Or sweeping the series. So far, right now, I have them at 3-5. They have some positive things happening, but they're struggling to find consistency from 60 minutes. But then this is where things start to improve. Now, their schedule does not get easier. They have one of the hardest schedules in the NFL. Let's not get it twisted. But week 9, they're at home, and they welcome in a tough San Francisco 49ers team. This is a huge win over a playoff caliber team. The NFC West winning division team in the San Francisco 49ers. Russell Wilson leadership shows out here. And then week number 10, they travel to Chicago, and they lose to the Chicago Bears. I just don't think that they can consistently put wins together at this particular point. But then week 11, they're back at home to take on a tough Green Bay Packers team. Jordan Love is just a lot better than the New York Giants right now. And then they play yet another tough game, and that is the Detroit Lions. Another tough loss, but the Lions pull out close win to win it all. And then, after a 3-game losing streak, they're finally back in the winning ways when they beat the New England Patriots, right? The Giants still won on the road against a rebuilding New England Patriots squad. Now, so far, it's been a roller coaster of the season, right? They're 5-8 at this particular point. This stretch was a roller coaster. The Giants showed that they could compete, but they couldn't string wins together. But after a bye week in week 14, they start to string some things together. They start to look positive. Week 15, they're back at home. Fresh out of a bye, they beat the Washington Commanders. A huge divisional victory. Then week 16, they're back at home again, playing the Minnesota Vikings. Another home win. The Giants are showing the Giants are dangerous late in the season. Their defense is stepping up to be even better. And then week 17, they beat the Las Vegas Raiders. The momentum is starting to build. But when they finally get to week 18, they in a must-win situation, they're sitting at 8-8. This final win could get them into the playoffs. They lose to the Dallas Cowboys at home and making them 8-9 on the season. It is a tough, inconsistent season, but enough bright spots to build for 2026. Russell Wilson will show that he can lead late in the season. Now the Giants just need more weapons around him, or basically let Russell Wilson walk at the end of the day. So, guys, can the New York Giants push to be a playoff team this season, or is next season their true thing? Hit the subscribe button, guys. Remember to like and share this with a couple of friends. And remember, we're live every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. Except right now, we're live right now. But, it is what it is. The old man Rick wants to know, what college did Derrick Henry play for? We know what college he played for. Good Lord. Sharon Lear says he's 28, meaning Saquon Barkley. Yeah, but once he hits 29, get downhill. Old Man River picks him, pundit.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
Says the Giants will go 9-8. 8-9, 9-8. That's a big difference. 9-8 will potentially get you into the playoffs. 8-9 gets you a 20th overall draft pick in 2026. It is tough. And Alpha Rob is being realistic here. 7-10. Their division is too tough. And honestly, like Alpha Rob, I think the NFC East might be the second toughest division in football. What's up? Spikes23 says the Eagles go 15-2. 15-2, man. Get out of here. They're not going 15-2. John says the Giants will go 10-7. A season full of trap games. Listen, the Giants got a tough schedule. Just look at their first 4. Commanders, Cowboys, Chiefs, Chargers. And then they got a gimme game versus the Saints. But then they got the Eagles, Broncos, Eagles again. And then the 49ers, Packers, Lions. And then a much improved Patriots team. Their only off weeks are versus the Raiders and the Saints. That's about it. Every other game, they got to come up and play an A game to even have an opportunity. So they are tough. Jasmine Gray's in the chat. She says, Commanders went 12-5 last year. Commanders will do it again this season. I have them at 11-6. Have them 11-6. Little man says, "Hey, want to say something, buddy?" Smells like you're eating some type of peanut butter. Let me see. Oh my God, that's so gross. John says, beating the Chiefs, splitting the Cowboys, Eagles, and Commanders. 3-3. Listen, the division games are always tough, John. No matter what division you are in, divisional games are always tough. Whether it's the AFC, NFC, whatever, division games are tough. Tough. Little man is still up because we got no school tomorrow, huh? School's out. Woo! No school over here. But we will be practicing baseball tomorrow. What are you doing, dude? What are you doing? All right. Well, I'll be in a little bit to build our fort. Okay? Go inside. What? Okay. Yeah, that man's Old Man River. Yep, just like you, huh? All right. Go back inside. I'll be there in a little bit. Old Man River says the third toughest AFC West, NFC North. See ya. Love you too, buddy. Old Man River, I would not. So obviously, guys, Old Man River is a Raiders fan. I am a Chiefs fan. I would not put the AFC West as the toughest division in football. I got to give it to the NFC North. Because from top to bottom, I feel that the Bears could be contenders in any other division except for the NFC North. Obviously, the Lions can win the division. The Vikings can win the division. The Packers are right up there. And then you got to look at the NFC East, right? From top to bottom. The Giants are a sneakily good team. 8-9 is nothing to slouch out when you play the Cowboys twice. When you play the Commanders twice and the Eagles twice. Then you play the Vikings and the Packers and the Lions and the Bears. Like, it is tough, right? The NFC North and the NFC East kind of got screwed this season. Mellow Mike says, hold some contact. Now we can resume to making fun of you. Yeah. So that is my oldest. He is 7. They don't have school tomorrow because Memorial Day, and they have 2 days of school next week, which is stupid, but we digress. I told him I'll build him a blanket fort later to watch games. But we got to give a full recap now of the NFC East, guys. Way too early playoff predictions. Now, guys, I think the NFC East is shaping up to be another fiery competitive division. Based on what these early win-loss predictions are, here's how the teams stack up this heading into this season. So ultimately, guys, winning the division, being number 1, I do have the Philadelphia Eagles being the divisional champs, being 13-5. That's not right. 13-4. So I have them being 13-4 in the division. I think the Eagles come out on top thanks to a balanced attack and key divisional wins, right? Their ability to bounce back early from losses, meaning the Dallas Cowboys and the Buccaneers, gives them a crucial win over the Commanders in week 18 and 16, gives them the edge and the divisional crown. And then coming in second, I do have the Dallas Cowboys finishing at 11-6. The Dallas Cowboys fight hard and finish just behind the Eagles with a solid 11-6 record. They showed resilience, especially with their home wins and their tight divisional battle. Despite tough losses, guys, the Dallas Cowboys will manage to hold the tiebreaker advantage over the Washington Commanders in securing second place. And that's exactly who comes in third place, is the Washington Commanders at 11-6. They are in third place because they lost a tiebreaker to the Dallas Cowboys. Now, they do display flashes of brilliance, including important wins over divisional rivals, but inconsistently kept them from climbing higher, meaning they do get caught up in these trap games a lot this season. And then coming in fourth place will be the New York Football Giants, sitting at 8-9. Nothing to slouch out, nothing to sleep on, but I think the Giants will be a losing team yet this season. They are rebuilding, and they do have a bright future, but with the late season surge, the Giants struggle early, and the lack of consistency needed to climb out of last place. So overall summary, guys, I think the Eagles are clearly they are asserting their dominance early on in the East, and they will continue to be dominant in the East for many, many years to come. But guys, what NFC East teams do you think will surprise everyone this season? Drop your comments in below. I think it's going to be the New York Football Giants. Mellow Mike. So the Cowboys are going to finish in last place, bro. No way, Mellow Mike. It would not shock me, actually, if the Dallas Cowboys sweep the Commanders, sweep the Eagles, and split with the Giants, giving them first place. Because if they do that, because right now I have them splitting with I have them sweeping the Giants and splitting with the Commanders and the Eagles. If they sweep the Eagles, sweep the Commanders, and split with the Giants, that gives them 13 wins, and that gives the Eagles 12 wins, and the Cowboys could very realistically be a first place team this season. Now, what they'll do in the playoffs, that's a different story. We'll talk about that Friday. But just want to slow it down. Cowboys fight hard. I've heard some resilience shots. What, buddy?
Again. Tomorrow and Monday, I usually have school on Monday, and now I don't.
All right. Memorial Day. No school.
Yeah.
All right. I'll be there in a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Old Man River says the Eagles are to be 12-5. Gritty on your way up there, buddy. Commanders 11-6. Cowboys 10-7, and the Giants 9-8. Everybody have a winning record in that division. So, Old Man River, does that mean everybody in the NFC East makes the playoffs? Playoffs? We talking about playoffs? Yeah, we talking about playoffs right now. Yes, sir. I don't know. That would be tough, wouldn't it? Crazy. Mellow Mike says the Commanders, Eagles fight for the top. Giants surprise in third. The Dallas are rejoicing, honking fart, sitting in the toilet for 5 minutes. Shake that booty, man. Listen, Mellow Mike, first of all, welcome back, man. Like, you tuned in a little late, but you missed me gloating about the Dallas Cowboys, right? Of course, the Dallas Cowboys are my second team, even though I broke up with them last season. But we got a Chargers fan right here. Gross. Chargers. He's a Chargers fan. But I said the Dallas Cowboys are going to be either really good, 11, 12, 13, potentially 14 wins, or really bad, 5 and below wins.
Did you just call my team really bad?
I didn't call your team really bad. But I do think your Chargers are going to go 10-7. They're not very good.
Oh, wait, the Lord did.
Oh, gritty it. Yes, sir. John says the Cowboys on top, Giants second, Eagles third, and the Commanders fourth. John, honestly, this might be the most realistic one out there, besides mine, obviously, right?
I might be.
We have not had a repeat NFC East divisional championship for 12, 13 years. So history repeats itself, and history says that the Eagles will not win the division. So the Commanders Cowboys, that would be a pretty good thing, right? Mellow Mike says we all can't be perfect. Not everyone is a Texans fan.
Damn.
This is the same Texans that I have going 9-8 this season, Mellow Mike.
Damn.
Oh, they can't hear you. Here you go.
And when I had a little boy, I need a guy year old.
He's 5 here. Put on the headset and you can talk here. So, River, they want to know how you became a Chargers fan, buddy.
It called I did. I kind of like the color of it, and the dog.
Yeah, so he became a Chargers fan because he loves the color blue, and yellow is his mom's favorite color. So he loves his mom a lot more than he loves his dad, right? So the yellow and blue make a perfect combination. That's how I become a Chargers fan.
Yeah. Like the dog kind of like.
Yeah, it's the lightning bolt, and he loves lightning. So Mellow Mike says, "Come on, Buck, you're riding the Vegas line of 9.5 wins. Is that the Dallas Cowboys line of 9.5 wins? Well, I have as like 11, so put me on the over, baby. Take my money and shut up and pay me. Pay the man.
Give me my money back.
Da bills, yo.
Give me my money back.
Give me my money.
Give me all of your money, God. Give me all of your money, so I can play anything.
Oh, I had you on mute the whole time. I'm sorry, dude. I got. Mellow Mike says, well, at least he wasn't a Colts fan. I mean, we do live in Indiana, and the Colts are right right here, right?
Yeah, and
They're blue. Colts are blue.
And my dad, on one day, I wear a Colt gear to go get cool.
Yeah, he wore a Colts. Was it Friday that was sports day or game day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it kind of like a game. We better put the boy a white a ball game and
He wore a jersey instead. Yeah.
Yeah.
This happens. We do have season tickets to the Colts though, so he might become a Colts
all
fan.
met up. My mama all met up.
Mama messed up. Mama Buck messed up. It's all good though. So they are glad that you are a Chargers fan. You are a Chargers fan because you like blue and Mama likes yellow. Those are the two favorite colors, and that's how you became a Chargers fan.
And I like the Colt gear that well.
Yeah, and their jersey. Yeah, we got a Chargers jersey in the mail for you. I ordered you one 2 days ago. So
can you go me yet? Why do you go me yet?
I will. Old Man River says black and silver and the Pirate. That's the team you should be rooting for, the Raiders.
No, don't woo anything on Sunday.
That team right there. Yep, they lose every time we see them on. They lose. Losers.
The car got the W.
Charged with a W. Let's go, man.
W. Luca.
L7 loser. Weenie. Old Man River, your team's a weenie. Get the dubs up there, right?
I might come back. With.
All right. Are you done? Okay. I'll see you in a minute, okay? All right, guys. River is on the air today. He is waiting for me to come in there. So River, Mellow Mike says, teach you how to say Chiefs suck. Don't worry, Mellow Mike. He already tells me that. So when we were watching the Super Bowl, back in February, he's like, ha, the Chiefs suck. The Chiefs suck. The Chiefs suck. And my youngest, him and River actually got in a fist fight over the football game because Tripp loves the Chiefs. And he's like, don't talk bad about my team. And it was just a good, wholesome muscle. And what you guys need to realize that he is also a huge Monster Jam fan. So, and Toro Loco is his favorite.
And you mess with the ball, you get the horn.
You mess with the bull, you get the horns. But River, we are going to end the show, buddy. So we're going to end the show, and on today's show, we always end it with a little bit of No, we do play the theme song, but we need to talk about this, right? We need to talk about this. All right, folks, before we wrap up tonight's Man Hour, let me get something off of my chest. Let me get this off of my chest, because no matter how good or how bad the Dallas Cowboys are, they will always be America's team. That's a fact. It doesn't matter that their last Super Bowl was back in 1996. The glory years of the Troy Aikmans, Emmitt Smith, and Michael Irvin, that was a legendary dynasty that defined the NFL in the 90s. Those Cowboys teams weren't just good, they were dominant. They set the standard, and their legacy still echoes through the league today. And here's the thing. People love to hate the Dallas Cowboys. It's almost like if it's a part of your culture. You mention Dallas, and immediately there's an eye roll or a smirk. Fans of other teams will bash the Cowboys like it's a hobby, but listen, close. Half of the time, those same people spend more time talking bad about the Cowboys than actually do liking their own teams. Why? Because the Dallas Cowboys matter. They're a measuring stick. The Cowboys win, it's headline lose. When the Cowboys lose, it's breaking news. Every move, every play, every drama, it's magnifying because the Dallas Cowboys are more than just a football team. They are a cultural phenomenon. They're a brand, they're an identity. Sure, it's been a while since they won the big game, but the star on the helmet still shines bright in every corner of America. No matter the team commands, that no other team commands that kind of attention, that kind of passion, and that kind of love-hate relationship like the Cowboys do. So yeah, they might stumble, they might have rough seasons, but they always come back with the same spotlight shining down on them. And that's why, my friends, it's true power of America's team. Until then, we out. Next time, River, say something, buddy. Say it.
I know my dad's name.
All right. Say, Man Hour Nation, rise up.
My hour Nation, lie up.
Hey, now it's time to take off. Gotta keep it live and raw. Better stay tuned in. Man, now we're NFL talk. I know that you're ready for more. They on the field, ready for war. Who's in the lead? I'm checking the score. We about to do it like never before. NFL live. Let's go.
Pretty, we see Brizzy butt crack.
Like me, I might go local ball.
Alright, let me do a couple things, buddy. I need to put this into the OneDrive and then I'll get it in there. So, Mommy said no blanket port. Well, yeah, I mean, I said I'll make a blanket and I'll do it, okay? You haven't, but listen, it is 10 o'clock, okay? So, well, yes, it's way past time, but I will make you a blanket fort, okay? Is Trip up still? Okay, well, but hey, but listen, I can't make it that big because we have to clean up because we got showings in, okay? Because people are going to come look at the house, okay? No, we're going to Uncle Jared's house. We have to move to the house first, and I'll buy you those. Yes. Tell me about the metal action figures. Oh, the one that we got today. Those are pretty cool. Okay, yeah. I mean, we don't gotta bring them, buddy. If you don't want to bring them. All right. I think I started the process, so we can shut the lights off and we can build the fort, and then what movie you want to watch? Lilo and Stitch again, or we want to watch another movie? What? Well, no, we watched How to Train a Dragon last night. Isn't there How to Train a Dragon 2? So let's watch that How to Train a Dragon 2. Okay, is that on Disney or Netflix? Netflix.
Daddy on. I know.
Oh, on Prime. Okay. You go pull it up and I'll be there in a minute, okay? Love you, buddy.